Hi, welcome to the Leek and District Football League Roundup, sponsored by J Howson of Carlton and Rogers Barbershops. In the Howson's Cup, last season's Premier Division champions Elmo Celtic faced last year's Division 1 champions Wellington, and it was the former who romped into the next round with a thumping 10-1 win. The teams met in the league earlier this season, with Elmo's ending up victorious despite Wellington holding them for much of that game. This game turned out to be totally different though, with Elmo's dominating. It was the last game that Elmo's players had to prove themselves worthy of a spot in the final of next week's Sunday Premier Cup. And the team certainly seemed to be giving Elmo's management a selection headache, as transfer deadline day new signing Zach Barker and Tom Lowe played brilliantly on their debuts. Jamie Poynton started the round off, however, after scoring only 14 seconds as he broke clear past the Wellington defence to confidently slot the ball home. Tom Lowe doubled Elmo's lead after 10 minutes and Zach Barker made it 3 after only 20, following a neat 1-2 between Bourne and Jamie Poynton that set Barker through on goal. An individual effort on 30 minutes from Tom Lowe made it 4 as he rifled the ball into the top corner, giving the Wellington keeper no chance. Wellington were awarded a free kick that they hit deep into Elmo's box, which was met by Elmo's defender Nathan Ball, but he only succeeded in heading the ball into his own net to give Wellington a lifeline at 4-1. Elmo's came out after the break continuing their dominance of the game as they hit another 6 goals thanks to a great individual effort from Poynton, who got his second, and Nathan Ball heading home, only this time in the opposition net instead of his own. Poynton was a constant menace throughout the game and got his hat-trick, but not to be outdone, it was Lowe, who was man of the match, who also got a hat-trick to make it 8-1. Elmo's were awarded a penalty which Sam Prentice stepped up to take, but he missed. Further goals from Dale Walters and Kieran Scotland finished off the demolition job of Wellington to secure Elmo's place in the quarter-final against Dyer's Arms. Elmo's secretary Tom Bourne told me this was a great preparation for the Premier Cup final against Darcy's on Thursday. In Group A, Leek Snooker Centre played their first game in the competition and got off to a winning start, beating Vale Hoppers 2-0. Hoppers, who were still smarting from a 5-1 mauling at the hands of Biddletown Diamonds, went into the game as favourites. But the Leek Snooker Centre manager Graham Tatton had other ideas. Despite having problems with low team morale following their exit in the Sunday Trophy quarter-final and a recent disappointing draw against Railway, he rallied his troops. It was relatively even in the first half, with both teams playing some good football, but neither of them really threatening the opposition's goal. The second half was no different until Tatton made an inspired substitution, bringing on recent signing Mike McHugh. For a snooker centre? On 71 minutes. And within 5 minutes he broke clear of the Hoppers defence to give the snooker centre the lead. Just hope he didn't pot it home. McHugh started to cause the Hoppers defenders more and more problems, and within 14 minutes he had found a sublime pass that found teammate Andy Mayer, who almost effortlessly, I can't even say it was probably easier for him to do it than me say it. But Andy Mayer, who almost effortlessly, that's a terrible word, anyway, put the ball under the Hoppers keeper to make it 2-0. In Group B of the Sub-Cup, Waterhouses, having beaten both Wellington United and current leaders Dyer's Arms, came back to earth with a bump and a 4-3 defeat at the Railway end. Railway desperately required a victory to get themselves back in contention for a spot in the knockout stages, whereas Waterhouses were seeking to continue their unbeaten run, and a 3-goal win would see them overtake Dyers at the top. However, Railway found themselves a goal behind after only 8 minutes thanks to a well-worked goal scored by Brian Mycott. This shook Railway, but they rode the early storm and soon got back into their stride as Gareth Bratt equalised 11 minutes later, swiftly followed by a goal from midfield maestro Joe Burgess to give Railway the lead going into the break. Railway started off the second half with the brighter of the two sides, and Ashley Burton made it 3-1 within 10 minutes of the restart. Just when Railway thought they were cruising, Waterhouses threw caution to the wind and went out all-out attack, and their efforts were rewarded as they drew level following goals from Jake Binns and Mycock with his second, and that was with only 13 minutes left. Both sides, not content with the draw, continued to push forward, making for an entertaining end-to-end game. And just when it was going to end in stalemate, and they were going to have to settle for a draw, deep into time added on, Gareth Bratt scored his second goal of the game and the winner for Railway. In the league, Haringey Strollers were looking to seek to get revenge on Dyers, who thrashed them 5-2 in the Sub-Cup. And they did so in style, running out comfortable 6-0 winners. Strollers were coasting into half-time as Matt Knight, Andy Brunt and recent sign Ryan Silito scoring to give them a 3-0 lead. After the break, the home side continued to dominate, and in the second half, their relentless attacks and ruthless finishing led to another 3 goals as both Knight and Silito scored their second of the game, and frontman Tony Hulse also got in on the act. Following a 7-goal thriller earlier in the season that ended 4-3 to Valiant, pub teammates Valiant once again faced Valiant Trogs in the league, and it was the Valiant who emerged winners again, this time 5-3. This was definitely the game to watch this weekend, as both teams fiercely competed against each other with some excellent passing moves and some sublime goals. Leo Fowler started the scoring for Valiant after only 10 minutes, and the lead lasted on until the 50th minute when Mitch Cartledge levelled for Trogs. It remained level going into half-time, both sides having had a chance to take the lead. Valiant manager Tony McNicholas and club secretary Rob Corden rallied their team at half-time and encouraged the players to attack at every opportunity. Within 15 minutes of the second half, Valiant had stunned Trogs as Ricky Mallon, Jamie McNicholas and Jamie Pope had given Valiant a 4-1 lead. Cartledge got a goal back for Trogs, but no sooner had they netted than Joel Dawson replied and to make it 5-2 to Valiant. Trogs kept battling and reduced the deficit as Josh Johnson pulled a goal back, but it was too little too late, as Valiant took all 3 points to put distance between themselves and Elmos at the top of the league. The Elmos do have games in hand. And that's it for Leek